Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel, and if you read the title down below, I believe it is officially now. This is my corsetting tips and tricks and questions and answers, blah, blah, this and that video. I hope you guys do like. To all my subbies, mwah, thank you so much for giving me the time of day. But I'm going to say this right now, please thumb up this video. It helps me out a lot to know what you guys like to see. And yeah, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Okay guys, let's get into it. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm going to address this now. You see I have a patch right here on my jaw. I have patches all over. You just can't see because my poppin' threads. But health implications and stuff like that, hence the reason I'm not wearing my corsets right now. I can't lace due to my wrists and pressure and stuff like that, but I still can show you. So if you guys see random patches like this popping up during the video, please ignore it. You know, it's just life. Gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, so let's get into the corseting tips and tricks and answers and stuff like that video. I'm majorly excited. Now then, many people ask me personally when I wear my corsets out and about, like if I'm having a bad fat day or any of the case maybe, they always seem to ask me, why do you tend to wear it? Well, you can wear your corsets two ways. One is, of course, the outer part of your clothes, and then the other one is the under portion where no one else can see. I like to wear them on the outside just for the shock factor, and plus two, wearing pants or shorts that are not high-waisted like this, if they are down below like this, you can get pooching, you can get, you know how you constantly have to pull your stuff up in the back. It's a little hard to do that when you're in a corset and it's underneath your bust. So I often tend to wear it on the outside, and also too, just another tip, wear pants that are high-waisted so they don't constantly fall down. You have to keep tugging them up. The main reason I got into corseting, besides of course being my character Fairy Whisper or Renaissance Fair and stuff like that in general, is that if you look up the history of the corset, it was originally for everyone. It was originally to help back support, correcting posture, that's a big one. It was also in the needs to kind of suck in everything. But later on down the line, after people started to actually like them, men stopped wearing them in the time period and women were taking more over. I believe it was in around the 18th century, 17th century, 16th, around there, that most women were considered fragile and they needed their trunk or their waist here supported. So besides that implication, it was also used to train naughty children, hence the reason the posture up correcting standpoints. They had children's corsets, they had full length ones that went up to here all the way down pretty much to your knee to teach you how to walk and stuff like that. The history of the corset, you can look it up on Google. It goes way back. The main reason why I started to wear them before, you know, all the Fairy Whisper stuff and besides the Renaissance fairs, I wanted support. I had students at work, because if you guys do not know, I work for the school district out here, and I work with autistic children. I work with the really low functioning, ones who are nonverbal, who cannot speak, and many of the times my old student, I had to constantly bend, pick up, bend, picked up. It hurt majorly on my back. I mean, pressure on the back, spine, bending down, my back was in knots. So I decided to give it a try. I already had one, so might as well use it. And ever since then, when I've been using it, it corrects my posture, which is excellent. That is the main thing why I use it for, because most people will sit like this in the hunch. In a corset, you can't. You just physically can't. This is being supported, and it hurts to try to, you know, sit like how you normally do. So you're just sitting up straight. Good posture correcting, besides sucking everything in and bringing everything into a beautiful hourglass shape. It looks good and it feels good. And when I took my corset off after work, major relief. Major relief. That's one of the reasons why I started to wear. Different people, you know, like the feel of it. I also too like the old-fashioned traditions. We don't value that as much as we do anymore in the 18th century because woohoo, 21st century, woo, major fun. But we don't tend to uphold a lot of the traditions, which I think is really sad, because corseting, believe it or not, is a part of our history. It's a part of French history. It's a part of Britain history, British, English, you name it. It's a part of a lot of people's history. So for me to personally say, I don't like it, well, it's a sad part, you know. I like the effects that it gives me for my body, the posture correcting, sucking in everything. Looks good, feels good. Love that so much. I don't want to have my lumbar or my back with a hump when I get older. So with that being said, that's why I got into corseting personally. And plus two, double D girls need a little bit of support as well besides the bra. Overbusts, I've tried overbust. One overbust, it definitely pushes in. The only downside is you get little creases here if you're a heavier set girl. Even with your skinny girl, I've noticed this. It's not as bad. But you get like creases and stuff like that from the corset being pulled tight, 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 tight. But yeah, so personally for me, that's why I started to get into corseting. And before we get into more serious, per se, matters of the corset, there are some cons to wearing a corset. For instance, I usually use steel bone. That is precisely what you're supposed to use. There are two types of corsets. There are fashion corsets, which are made of plastic boning, and there are, ooh, sorry, got a hair on me. And there are authentic corsets, which is steel boning. So when designing your corset, you want to know which one you want. If you want fashion, plastic boning tends to pooch in and it bulges in the wrong places and it just doesn't look kosher. Metal boning doesn't do that. It sucks everything in, holds you in, gives you that perfect hourglass silhouette that you want. People often think that there is the major con to corseting, which is unhealthy. It moves your organs around. That may be true, but corseting is meant to do over a long period of time. It is not just boom, suck it in, squeeze hard, and hope for the best. That's not how it works. Usually, you know, like I said, girls at a young age in the 17th century would start at corsets and wear it all throughout their lives, up until their ripe old age, until they couldn't lace anymore. So it's supposed to be meant, in my opinion, for a long period of time. Back when I was usually doing my corset, I was wearing my corset every single day. I wore it for about 2 to 3 years before my wrist stuff acted up and I couldn't lace anymore. I had ovary situations, blah, blah, this and that. Probably TMI, sorry guys, but it is what it is. So many people think that, oh my gosh, it's so bad for you because it's shifting your organs. It is shifting your organs, but you're supposed to do it gradually over a period of time, meaning you don't lace that sucker to the ultimate form where you can't breathe. That's bad. So I know a lot of people who sleep in their corsets. I don't do that. I never found that comfortable. I know people who just wear the corsets just because and then move on with it. But the cons, of course, we had some of the extremists, you know, taking out of the ribs and stuff like that. That only became fashion back when the corset started to become fashion around the 1950s is when the corset started to become major fashion, you know, lingerie, risque type of thing. And then of course people, oh, I'm going to lose my ribs and then I'm going to tight everything in and hope for the better. The implications of that is that your cervix, if you guys don't know, a little health lesson, your cervix in womanhood here, hold your baby in. The implications of that, if you corseted too tight, the cervix could come out and then all your stuff could come out. The cervix holds everything in, comes out. What do? They fix it up with a surgery and a plug. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's why I say slow, gradual amount of time. So with that being said, those are a few pros and cons of the corset. Besides getting a bunch of weird stares, you also get people asking questions. That's a good thing. You know, we need to keep this history alive. So before my jaw gives out, let's get into the corsets and the questions and answers. So can't wait. Gonna be major fun. Okay, so now that we had our little history lesson why I personally got into wearing corsets, let's look at the two types of corsets. Well, there are two types. I'm just going to put it this way. There are fashion corsets that have plastic boning, like I said earlier on in the video. Then there's authentic corsets with the steel boning. And in those two little categories, you have overbust. Overbust is, pretend this is the corset, cups right here, overbust right here. Then you got underbust, which is right along here. Just cutting at your breast and going around here. I personally have tried on an overbust corset. I liked it, but it's not my cup of tea because I also wear a bra with my corsets and it's just like too much shifting. I prefer underbust corsets simply because I can maneuver easier. My fashion choices aren't so limited, and sometimes you can match the corsets and stuff like that. So my first ever corset that I got not knowing this is my fashion corset that I ordered off of eBay. Now when you get your corsets, some of them will be laced, and generally you can tell if your corset is a fashion corset because they don't tend to lace them in between the rivets. Now if you can see the rivets here, how you can technically lace your corset, this particular one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you find where your waist is right here, then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, make a rabbit loop, 6, 7, blah, 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 blah. That's how you're supposed to lace it. Usually fashion corsets are laced improperly, and they just have the little bow tie up here and give you no thing to tie or to lace, you know, the bunny rabbit ears to pull your corset. So that's generally a rule of thumb. If you can tell, if like you're ordering a corset off of eBay and you see that, it might be a questionable fashion corset. If you just type in corsets on any, you know, non-corset related site, you're mainly going to get the fashion ones. Unless you type in 100% steel boned corset, you might not get what you want. So this was my first ever corset. It held up pretty good, I have to say. I had it for like 2 years and I was wearing it non-stop. But then I noticed that the plastic wasn't holding properly. It was pooching on the side and stuff like that, and it wasn't giving it a very kosher look. Meaning how you can tell how I tell basically that it is a steel boned or plastic boned, is you can tell by how flexible these are. Now do note that there are some flexible steel bone corsets. They have the flat panels and they have the spiral curls that hold your shape a little bit better. You can often tell though what is plastic and what is not. I mean, come on. If it goes like this, guaranteed that's not a steel bone corset. I know I have an example on here, and of course yet again, that's this one here. You hear that? That is plastic. So they don't tend to hold up too long. If you're really wanting to authentic corset and start your waist training, I would recommend a leather corset. Plain and simple. So this here was my first ever corset. It did its job, but like everyone else, I wanted something a little bit stronger, so I moved on to my next corset. And this here is my beautiful, this one here is sheepskin. It is not pure leather, but it's a different form of leather. This here is my sheepskin, I guess I can say leather, underbust, steel boned corset. I've had this corset now for roughly 4 years. It is doing phenomenal. I got this one from orchardscorsets.com, which I highly recommend them. They have everything from fashion to steel bone to underbust to overbust. You name it, they have it, and they are 100% positive in my book. So just a little tidbit. And as you can see here, leather is what you're going to go for when you are waist training. That means you're not going to get a fashion corset or anything that is related to your, how can I say this, is smaller than your size. Let's put it that way. The way that you can judge what size corset you should get is you measure your natural waist, and say if you are a 32, you usually want to get, I believe, 2 to 4 sizes down. So you can basically work it down, you can close it. You know, inches, whatever the case may be. So in this one, I will show you, now remember how we had the plastic? Watch how this one bends. You can't bend it all the way. It's still flexible, but I can't even bend this one. I could bend the other one. You can't bend it so easily, and nor do you want to. This particular model, I don't know if they still have it on the website. They might. This one here has, I believe it was 26 flat bones. That's just flat paneling, simple flat. Then it had 16, I think, curls or spirals that hold your shape a lot better. So besides this, when you start wearing your corset over time, it starts to get that indent and that feel, and your corset will naturally adhere to your body. It's like butter. It's like a second skin. It will naturally adhere. That's why they say, do not share a corset with others. It is going to be tailored to you over time, and this one is truly tailored to me. Now, as you can see here, I got long strings. That's from years of pulling and stretching out the fabric or the strings. But as you can see here, you can see where the loops are properly laced. So that is an indication, kind of authentic corset besides the brand that it is. So this one has done me so beautiful. You know, for Renaissance fairs, this was my work corset as well. Worked great, did what I needed it to do. And yeah, I believe this one here, what size is this? This is a 26. So if you can see that, probably not, there we go, 26. 26 inch on a 34 inch waist, and I could close this one all the way when I was wearing it constantly. So, plus size on that one. So if you are looking to start your corseting journey, I highly recommend a leather, authentic leather corset. Just because satin ones don't tend to hold their shape so much better, these ones are made to tight lace. And if you guys don't know what tight lacing is when you completely want to get your waist to a size like 2 and like that, you know, for the extreme people who really want that look. So that there is my authentic steel bone corset in all of its glory. Okay guys, the last corset in my collection. I had another one, but I sold it to a friend because she needed a corset. This one here is my, what I like to call my Fairy Whisper corset. As you can see, this one here was ordered off of eBay. Good price, $34, and I think free shipping. So it is a fully steel boned corset. Can't bend it a whole bunch. And this one here is the satin. So this here's a satin corset. You can see, shiny compared to the leather. Once again, I had to lace this myself because sometimes, I believe I put the thing down below when I first got the corset, how to lace properly. If you want, check that out down below. And the rivets right in the middle. There's your bunny rabbit ears. This one works fairly well. It does have the cutouts here. This here is for your underarm and your bust. As you can see, this doesn't go up all the way. And keep in mind, corsets have different fashions. This one is doing its job all right. I haven't been wearing this constantly just because it is a shorter frame on me, because instead of where my black one goes all the way down to here, it kind of sits up a little high and it kind of pooches out and pinches my fat roll a little bit. So I don't tend to wear this so often, but I do wear it for Fairy Whisper. Phenomenal work, very pretty, but as you can tell, what the satin looks like and the leather. Guaranteed leather is going to last you the longest. Satin is going to last you a long time if you properly take care of it. How to properly take care of your corsets is you're not supposed to bend in them. You know how we naturally bend? You're supposed to tend to kneel and pick up, you know, like how you're in a skirt. Bend down, pick it up. I tend to bend, which sometimes is a bad thing. You can snap the steel boning inside. Just because it's steel doesn't mean that it won't break. Sad to say. But any authentic corset, if you take care of it, will hold up fairly well. So now that I've rambled on and on about my corsets and my collection and why I got into them, now we're going to get into the question and answers. Okay guys, got my trusty green iPhone here with my little dangly-doo. So I'm going to be answering questions and answers, and let's see what we come up with here. So my gal forever and always 559 asks, does it hurt your girls? Does it hurt my girls? The girls up here. No, not in particularly. I have not personally worn a overbust for the whole entire day, so I can't really answer that one. My underbust ones do not hurt whatsoever. It's just like you're sitting your boobs on a shelf. So for instance, here's my corset. Under here, if I sit, they kind of just push them up a little bit. No pain, no falling, no agony. However, if you're not used to wearing an underbust or even an overbust corset, it could tend to bother your girls up top. When you're wearing a corset, please make sure that if it is skin on skin, you need to get something of a sheet kind of per se, just like a stretchy spaghetti strap. Fold the things over so that it doesn't rub on your bare skin. You can get chafing, you can get bad lines, you can get scarring if it's really bad. So please make sure you have a layer of something or fabric between you, your skin, and your corset. So the next one here is Green Saver Val. What's up, girl? How you doing? This one says, what type of clothes is best worn under? Best clothes worn under your corset? Any clothes in particular. that you fancy. If your corset is underneath, like I stated before, just make sure you have something of a boundary or a layer. It could be anything you want. If you're into layering like I am, spaghetti strap corset shirt or spaghetti strap shirt corset. It can go any other way. You can also tuck your corset into your pants or pull your pants up, like I said, high-waisted, so that it has more boundaries and more layers. I'm Jennifer Curtis. How you doing? What kind of corset would be good for you to start out with? A leather one. If you are really interested in tight lacing, waist training, any type of leather corset is going to do you justice. They do have specific waist trainer belts. I have not had one because I like the full-on corset. It's just basically like a normal belt, but you find your skinniest part in your waist, and then you just pull that sucker, and it will give you that little waist training thing, get you used to it. But as far as I am concerned, leather is the best option to go. Woo. Then my last one here is Allison Conrad. How you doing, girl? Hope you're having a good day. How often do you wear them? Well, it varies on person to person. My full work day consisted of 5.5 hours at my job site, so I'd wake up, put my corset on around 8 o'clock, boom, 8:15 out the door, get to work at 8:30. I would come home around 2:36, I want to say. I would wear it up until 3, take it off. But at my other job site, which I'm working now, 6.5 hours, I go put that sucker on at 8, out the door, and I don't get home until around 3:36. So then I'll wear it up to 4 and then I'll take it off. I've seen other people wear their corsets way longer. I mean 23 hours a day, taking it off only to shower. I'm not that type of girl. I like my skin to breathe, which, by the way, leather corsets also to have a great breathing range. Some other ones don't tend to do that. So that is personally how long I wore my corset throughout the whole entire day. Okay, guys, that was the last question on my list. Thank you guys so much for watching and participating. Mwah. Thank you so much. Sorry this video is going out late, way late. I had my car accident stuff. I'm better from that a little bit. Not so much, still pain and swelling and stuff like that, but still good. The next thing you know, joint swelling and everything. Whee! Lovely stuff. Work is starting up. Vacation and my expo. I just put it off longer and longer. I'm sorry for that. Hope you guys did like, and I hope this video helped you out as to what corset to get, teached you a little or taught you something about the corset history-wise and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to thumb up this video. It helps me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe down below. It is free. Trying to get up to my grand old total of 1,500 subscribers. Oh, I love that so much. Oh, my heart doth beat for that. But yes, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys next time on the old YouTube BoobTube. Hope this video helped out a lot. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. Woo! Smack.